There is so much to know about fashion history, and I myself often mess up what item belonged to what decade. However, more important than studying or opinioning on trends, I think it's interesting to study us humans throughout the time. I thought to start off the new year, I would very quickly, run through the past 100 years of trends from 1922 to possibly 2022. If you want to see a video on trend predictions or what trends are gonna die, I have 2 of those videos on my channel, so make sure to check those out. I think it would be interesting to dedicate one video to each decade, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. Without further ado, let's get into the past 100 years of trends. Disclaimer, MAIAZINE is a place for discussion. It's from people to people, so feel free to educate me on anything I might have done wrong. Let's start a discussion in the comments down below, and now let's just get into the actual video. Oh, the 1920s, a post-war world of revolutionary freedom and free-spirited wear. The styles were influenced by the jazz culture. The party wear was gracefully feminine. The dresses were full of beadings and fringes to reflect charm and recklessness. Some of the biggest trends? Flapper dresses with relaxed drop waists, beaded designs, and feathered accessories. The Little Black Dress by Coco Chanel, described as simplistic and elegant, moving black from a collar associated with widows to a chic color. The Clocher hat, pinstripes, +4s, English tailoring, and Oxford bags. The onset of Hollywood deeply impacted the 1930s, which made fashion strongly influenced by the film world and its movie stars. While the 1920s fashion was described as boyish, the 30s fashion was elegant. The 30s celebrated a more feminine culture through long and lean silhouettes. However, as an after effect of the stock market crash and the Great Depression, clothes became less ornate and more practical. The dresses became longer but also tighter and more fitted. Oxford shoes became the universal dancing shoes. Silk, velvet, and chiffon evening gowns grew popularity, and for men, they meant loose-fitted pants with tucked-in t-shirts. Fur stoles wrapped around the neck and shoulders of jackets. Boiler suits, flat caps, those were some of the other things that rocked at the time. The 40s were a period of deep changes, but it was also when arguably some of the most flattering designs of the 20th century were born. As the world entered the World War II phase, so did the fashion industry, in a budget of cotton and nylon, since wool, satin, and leather were needed to make parachutes for the military. Since so many men were in war, women were needed in a workforce, which dragged fashion in a military/utilitarian direction. Casual wear became a new normal and even the new glamorous, may I say. Feminist movements began to gain power and skirts became shorter and tighter. Actually, something funny that happened was the increase of popularity of the 2-piece swimsuit, which was actually a result of the fabric rationing enforced by the US government, which led to the invention of the bikini a couple years later. Men wore, besides other things, zoot suits, which consisted of an oversized jacket, a white tie, and voluminous trousers. Sharp shoulder pads, Victory suits, gloves, ladies' high-waisted pants, now a socially accepted alternative to skirts, trench coats, and bolero jackets were also used a lot. Now, the 50s brought cool and youthful styles. Some preferred dresses, others the more masculine business suits, but the exaggerated feminine styles were extremely popular, such as the hourglass silhouette. Tulle and chiffon made skirts much fuller and accentuated. Ankle-length skirts, cat-eye sunglasses, and pearl necklaces were in. Also, according to my deep studies, menswear started to become more colorful. Things like the Peter Pan collar, capri pants, kitten heels were worn by the cool people. Our ancestors, because everyone that's watching this video is cool. Moving on, the 60s were a time of timeless elegance and beauty. It was when my mom was born, so what could we ask for? The dresses were straight, fitted till the waist with a wide collar and flared bottom, and women started to show off more skin through miniskirts. High-waisted pants increased their popularity along with flat shoes and low-heel pumps. However, besides the bright colors you're seeing, there was also a big wave of psychedelic, tie-dye, and funky patterns. Menswear gradually incorporated brighter colors and patterns, and the ties began to widen again as the decade progressed. Other trends? The pillbox hat, collared ties, and the go-go boots. Go, go, go boots! Now, the 70s had a lot of retro patterns, colors, shine, and texture. The hippies had a major role in fashion, bringing fringe suit jackets, sleeveless vests, flower crowns, headscarves, and so much more. Women wore hippie-style or granny-style polyester jumpsuits, tunic tops, graphic tees, and they also rocked pantsuits and blazers. Men loved Cuban heels and corduroy, and the most popular colors were the autumn ones: burnt oranges, yellows, dark greens, browns. In the 80s came another drastic aesthetic shift. The bright florals and loose styles were replaced with black leather jackets layered over band t-shirts. People adored metallic leggings, stacked bracelets, and spandex, which was worn with leg warmers, off-the-shoulder sweatshirts, and headbands for those who had the courage to, which apparently everyone was very courageous back then, because everyone was wearing spandex. Double denim was meant to show that anything could be fashionable even if you tried hard enough. Oh, the 90s. What should I say about this decade? The workwear consisted of pantsuits and sets with cropped Bermudas or full-length pants. Although this was a teen youth decade, styles weren't as colorful as in the 80s. The hip-hop influence expanded to the mainstream, bold prints were shifted into minimalistic styles, the satin fabric was almost everywhere, along with spaghetti straps. Midi dresses and skirts were a popular look, which could be dressed up or even down for any occasion. Other things? Plaid sets, corset tops, bucket hats, popper pants, slip dresses, and chain wallets. I wasn't born in the 90s, so maybe that's why this was strange for me, but why did no one ever told me about chain wallets? Because they actually seem cool. And finally, we arrived to the 2000s. During the 2000s, women's fashion became greatly feminine once again, and that meant halter tops, low-ride jeans, capri pants, and denim miniskirts. As trucker hats had a comeback, so did bootcut jeans. The block heels came back, and Crocs, one of the most controversial items in this channel, was brought to life. Reflective metallics, chunky shoes, cargo pants, messenger bags, aviator sunglasses, and the iconic blue tracksuit was very trendy. In the 2010s, or the 10s, I don't know how to call them, social media finally became a really big thing, and so street style became very popular. Square-shaped, oversized sunglasses were very cool. Fur jackets were everywhere, stilettos were reborn, but with incorporated fringes or beadings, and the heel height increased from 2 inches to 4 and above. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Skinny jeans, crossbody bags, leggings, ankle boots probably will also remind you of this decade. So 100 years later, we finally arrived to the 2020s. I don't even know how to call them, the 2020s. From the practical to the sublime, stylish pieces have preserved through years dominated by the COVID-19 pandemic. I think this decade started off to a pretty practical start with obviously COVID and work from home, but I'm also very excited to see maximalist styles get out of the runaways into the actual wardrobes of people in street style. I'm also very happy to see sustainable brands and ethical fashion rise, and if we want to go back and be nostalgic about the past years, we can dig into the tie-dye era, the cottagecore aesthetic, bucket hats, the vests, the Victorian sleeves, the square-toed heels, the monochromatic look, and masks. Please don't hate me for including this here, but I feel like we can't ignore the elephant in the room, and we shouldn't, because even though we associate masks with very negative things, masks protect us, so we should give them a shout out, and some people have been making some really cute ones, so there's that. I think it's interesting to think how we started the video with the 1920s, which was a very rebel and crazy decade after a very harsh period. Our 2020s started with a harsh period, but I hope it will end soon. And so I think it's interesting to think about how humans will rebel in fashion once the pandemic is over, and what crazy stylish pieces will be invented. So who knows, we're gonna relive the roaring 20s in a couple years. Anyways, let me know if you learned anything with this video, if you have a favorite decade. I had a lot of fun putting this video together, so hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Bye! So, future editing Maya here, passing by to say a couple things. First of all, Happy New Year, and if you stayed watching until the end of this video, thank you so much. We reached 40,000 subscribers yesterday, and that is completely nuts. I am so happy and thankful for all of you who have joined MAIAZINE. As you saw in this video, I included some Instagrams for those of you who wanted decades inspired outfits on your feed, and I'm always looking for ways to include you guys in the videos. So first I asked on Instagram if you wanted to feature your outfits in your accounts here, So make sure to follow me on Instagram to be notified every time I need you guys, because I just want MAIAZINE to be a bridge between fashion and people, and I need the people and you are the people. Anyways, if you haven't already, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and comment something down below, and I will see you next week. Enjoy this beat!